softwares and forms. All right, so these next couple of videos are going to be about softwares and forms required for sale, as well as whatever's involved when it comes to selling cars, right? So we're going to start with payment methods accepted. So what kind of payment methods are you going to accept? Well, that's up to you. There are three main methods that in the car industry are well known. Number one is outright cash. Cash is king, right? They say cash is king. So the customer comes in, pockets full of money, stacks of cash. It's kind of hard to turn that down. All right, now keep in mind that anything over $10,000 and you have to file an IRS form. So this form serves to keep an eye on these people and make sure that you are reporting these transactions, and make sure you're not a narco trafficker or a terrorist or anybody like that, right? So I forget the name of the form, but if you have a software, it'll automatically generates and populates that form for you if somebody's paying over $10,000 cash. All right, $9,999 is fine, but $10,000 and up, you gotta file that form. So like I said, outright cash, straightforward cash. It can be cashier's check, all right, or it can be a money order. These two things are the same as cash. Cash, cashier's check, or money order. All right, that goes to outright cash. You can accept that. Personal checks, I wouldn't accept personal checks. Personal checks tend to bounce, right? Personal checks bounce, so I would stay away from that. I would just use your best judgment when you're taking a personal check. People are bad, remember. Always expect the worst and assume the best, right? Assume the best, expect the worst, or hope for the best, expect for the worst. So anyways, prepare for the worst, hope for the best, whatever. Outright cash. The next is going to be third-party financing, or with banks, right? So when a customer is financed through a bank or a credit union, it can be via your own in-house financing dealership, or it can be via a financial institution like their bank. Chase, Capital One gives them a loan, and then they get a personal line of credit. They come over and they give you a draft, all right? So let's say the customer gets approved by their own bank. That's a bank approval. You have your own banks and you do financing in your house that you can help them with. That's another way of doing it. So third-party lenders, right? Main Street Bank, little banks, any banks that will write you a check or ACH you some money is considered a third-party financing, right? Hard loans are also third-party financing. I mean, if grandma lets the kid borrow $10,000 to come buy a car, and the kid has to pay grandma back, but it wasn't going through a bank, it's still outright cash, but for the kid, that's financing, So it all depends, right? And then the last thing is going to be a trade-in. Sometimes you can use the customer's equity on the vehicle so they can purchase a new car, okay? And if you have big pockets, you can go ahead and pay them up front for their car, or pay off their balance to get the title to that car. Or you can put it on your floor plan company as a trade-in, and they'll give you money for that car, right? So I'm going to keep this video short, keep it nice and short. Three main methods when it comes to outright cash. There's three ways of getting cash, which is straightforward cash, cashier's checks, or money orders. Then there comes third-party financing, which is banks that will give your customers money so they can come pay you, or banks that you work with directly that will pay you, and the customer will pay that bank back. That's how financing works, right? Of course, there's fees and interest involved, but that's for a later topic. And then their trade-in. You can use their existing trade-in equity. Let's say they have a vehicle that is worth $10,000 and they owe $3,000 on, right? So you can pay $10,000 for that car and give them an equity of $7,000 or $8,000, depending if they owe 2 or 3, right? You see that equity, that's what it is. Now, let's say they have the same car and it's worth $10,000 and they owe 12. Now their equity is in the negative, so they have negative 2,000 equity. Versus if they only owe 2 and the car is 10,000, then they would have 8,000 in positive equity. See what I'm coming from here? So that's how you can use the equity in somebody's trade to use that as outright. There's no such thing as an even swap unless you're getting more value than what you're giving. All right, because tax, title, and license is included, and you have to make sure you account for that. So those are my 3 tips on that. Thank you so much for watching. We'll keep this video short, keep it to 5 minutes, and we'll move on to the next one. All right, hit that like and subscribe button. Let's rock and roll. Thank you for watching.